but we're going to kick things off with Sorin. So welcome to the stage, and please put your hands together.
Thank you, Sam. And I'll give free candy for anyone that comes and sits here in front row. No? Right. In a not so distant future, there is a possibility that all our marketing activities, everything we do in marketing, will be done by machines. We will be spectators to the show that they will run. And a lot of us, probably in the room, think that that's a possibility. My name is Sorin Patilinet. I come from Mars, and I don't think that that's a possibility. I think humans will still master creativity. In the same way that David Bowie probably was the biggest creator that ever existed in music, I think marketeers will still master the art and science of advertising. Less than a year ago, it's surprising how fast time passes. Less than a year ago, in November 2022, ChatGPT came into our world. And all of a sudden, AI became mainstream. But to me, ChatGPT is just the top of the AI iceberg. There is a lot more happening underneath the surface of the water. And that's everything I will be talking about today. I'm trying to not use anything around generative AI, but tell you how Mars has built a fantastic machine that uses a lot of AI, machine learning, image detection, facial detection, and combine that together to build our ad testing solution. I'm an engineer, so I like schemas, and to better understand how we deconstruct the way advertising works, I put together a very small picture of how we think brand building works. The ultimate goal of brand building is to build that brand into the mind of the consumers, and you start from a stimuli on the left-hand side. And to get to that brand memory structure, there are a couple of levers that you can pull and optimize and therefore influence how that transition happens. The first one is attention, the hot topic of the last 2-3 years. Attention is mandatory for your communication message to get to your consumers, but not the only thing that makes it successful. Without attention, there's no next step. With attention, you're just moving to the next one. At Mars, then, we use emotion very much in our communication because we believe that emotion is the fuel that builds that memory structure. Hence, most of our communication is an emotional one. And then the last dial, memory, this is all about the small little tricks, I would say, that you use to basically ensure that that memory structure is built faster. And if I could summarize it in one sentence, it would be make it simple. We've often tried to put too many complicated stories into one 10-second ad, while in fact the only thing we need is to make a simple message. How does it look in reality? I've chosen here an example from Extra Gum, and because this talk is only for 15 minutes, there are no videos, so we'll have to speed it up. Every communication that you will see from Mars across mainstream channel, but also across digital, will try to grab attention and elicit your emotions. The way we do that is through sound, through humans, faces, close-ups, familiar situations, everything that gets you in a sort of a sync relationship with the person that's in the ad. Then what we do next is that we use consistency in building the distinctive assets because we know that that builds memory. Everything that you will see from Mars has the same look and feel. From the Instagram feed to the packaging to the ad, everything has the same look and feel because we want, at the moment of purchase, the brand to be recognized and to be recollected and be chosen out of the repertoires of consumers. We don't think we are very special. We're just part of a repertoire of gum. And everything we do through advertising is to ensure that that consumer, you, selects us once more than our competitors. So as you can see, there are a lot of opportunities to optimize and influence how creative or how advertising works. And Mars has been recognized for the last years as building a culture of effectiveness. Today I'm going to show you a little bit how we did that and how we end up in embedding AI into our creative development processes. And we're talking waves. The first wave, we started by agreeing the single source of truth for quality, for content quality. And being a behavioral-based company, we've clarified that from the start that the single source of truth is sales impact. The way we measure creative at Mars is always through the lens of sales or business impact, because it's much easier to talk to your CFO using their language than it is to talk about brand awareness lift or consideration lifts. So once we had that single source of truth, we started gathering data. So over the last 14 years, we've measured over 4,000 ads, which created our base of truth. But using in-market sales-based measurement is not necessarily known to be agile. We wanted faster responses and more proxy responses than sales impact. So that's when we went into let's say, the first wave of our journey of discovery, which was the wave of neurosciences, bringing neurosciences into marketing, testing in lab various solutions from EEG to facial coding and biometrics, in the idea that we will find a proxy metric that will correlate with sales. And we were successful. We've identified that attention is that proxy metrics. But then we got hit very hard by the wave 2, which was exactly the moment when COVID started. All the labs that we used with our external partners were shut down. And it was approximately at that same point that mobile became like the main area where we would spend our budget, instead of like traditional media. So we had to transform, we had to do something new. And what we did was we embraced AI. And we embraced AI and understanding that there's no perfect solution out there in the research space. We've built that solution our own. So that's how we built ACE, the Mars ad testing tool, building on the 4,000 ads that we tested previously using neurosciences across 10 countries on our multitude of global brands. We've built a behavioral first, a mobile first in the industry, an AI inside and link to sales solution. And it might sound like bragging here, but after optimizing over 2,000 ads internally, after working with other companies, non-compete, who are using this tool as we speak today, I just wanted to give a little bit of a look under the hood of what it actually is, because I find it's really unique, and it's something that we should embrace probably a bit more. It's a very busy slide, but what ACE is a series of tools that are all correlated with sales that allows us to optimize the content second by second. And it starts with how much time consumers spend with your content. So we measure real-life consumers' response in time in view or view-through rate, because we've correlated view-through rate with sales. Then we know for sure that using a TV ad on Meta is no longer a practice that we want to encourage. So therefore, for every piece of content, we need to create it for the platform that it was intended to be used. We check for best practices around the platform, because we know that 92% of the ads are aligned with the platform feeds. And then lastly, we use a lot of AI in the attention and emotion space. We work with an external company that puts our ads in front of real consumers, a sample of 150 consumers that are aware and are measured for their reactions, for both attention and the exposed emotion. Because again, from neuroscience, we understood that attention and emotions are proxies for sales impact. So that's how it works. There's a lot of AI, and it has helped Mars significantly improve the creative effectiveness journey, making it agile and more fit for the future. So today, I would say that AI is really at the table at Mars. We've embraced the technology. We've used it in numerous spaces, but also in the creative research space. But if I look into a crystal ball tomorrow, what is the world of creative research? What's the world of media placement and content for the future? The situation is a little bit blurry, I would say. There are people who say that the future is 100% AI. There are people, mostly in research, that say that the future is not, it's human. I think the truth is, as always, somewhere in the middle. If you want agility, you would go towards AI. If you want more quality, or if you want to continue to have that data that you will build the models of tomorrow, you would go towards the consumer, the real human response. Because at the end of the day, I think that advertising will still be the mix of science and art. And irrespective of how much we will dial up the science through neuroscience, through neuromarketing, and everything that we do, there will still be an element of art that we basically can't explain. I think in the same way that we can't explain, or we can't expect that David Bowie would have ever been created by AI. Thank you very much.
Do we have any audience questions? Oh, great. One down in front. Do we have a microphone?
Thank you. So Sorin, I don't know if you test all of your creatives like that or not, but I imagine if you do you feed that data on attention and emotion, perhaps in your econometric models, to understand, what has an impact on sales from those metrics?
So we are testing most of our larger investment creatives using attention and emotions. And we have attribution models that we tested in market performance. What's interesting is that our benchmarks for attention and emotions are continuously refreshed based on the performance in market, which comes from regression models for those ads. So we're constantly updating, because what we understood is that attention of 2 years ago is different than the attention of today for that specific market and that specific product category. So yes.
Thank you.
Having a massive impact on your media performance?
So we are still firm believers that creative is the #1 driver of success. We think that we have the best tools in place to choose the best media plans, or to choose the best channels that we want to activate. But once you're certain that you're going to spend money on, let's say, Meta newsfeed, then the question of creative comes into play. And we've seen significant improvements in addressable ROIs. We've seen some improvements on social ROIs, and this optimization is just a small step in that path.
Brilliant. Well, please put your hands
Thanks.
together for Sorin.